Avatar, The Way of Water has just hit UK cinemas today. I've just gotten home from seeing the movie tonight with my brothers. And one special thing that happened tonight, which is definitely my hands down my favourite cinema experience of this year for this reason alone, is I actually got to see this movie with my dad. And the last time I saw a movie with my dad in the cinema was for Toy Story 3 in around 2009, 2010 time. So it's been about 12, 13 years since I've been to the cinema with him. So I'm going to tell you guys all around it and we're going to get into the movie review. So stick around. Alright, hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you for taking your own time out to check out this movie review of Avatar The Way of Water. I'm sure by now there's a lot of other reviews on YouTube, so I appreciate you checking out mine. So yeah, as I mentioned, directed by James Cameron. The music here is by Simon Franklin, who I believe as kind of signed to be the composer for the other Avatar sequels in the future if we get those. And we've also got Russell Carpenter doing the cinematography here. Now we've got a huge cast list. I'm not going to name them all, but just to name a couple, you've got Sam Worthington here, Zoe Saldaña, Sigourney Weaver, and many others. Now I'm not going to tell you too much about the cast or the plot or anything. Being honest with you, when I checked out the trailer, it doesn't really show you about the plot. It pretty much doesn't really give you anything about this movie. So, for that matter, I'm just not going to go into the plot of this one. But I am just going to say it focuses on Jake Sully and Neytiri once again. That's all I'm going to say. Now, going into this movie, as I said before, I knew I was going to take my dad to see this movie as soon as it was announced that it was going to be coming in cinemas. I was like, I have to take him. So anyone who doesn't know, my dad's favourite movie is Avatar in 2009. So I knew I had to take him to see The Way of Water. And it was just honestly such a delight seeing his face after seeing this movie. Just to give you guys a little bit of context, after the movie ended, he absolutely loved the movie. We walked out, he says, that was absolutely fantastic. He said that he wishes he was swimming underwater with the cast in this movie. And he just was utterly fascinated by it. And, you know, for me, and seeing my dad smile and seeing him happy and seeing him just enjoying a cinema experience of his favourite movie of all time, but the sequel to that movie, it's kind of just magical, you know. It's just a feeling that it just kind of warms you inside, you know, and it certainly did for me anyway. And I think that really just elevates this experience for me and kind of makes it my favourite movie experience this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had some other great experiences in Florida or with my partner Emma or my family, but yeah, this one is definitely a highlight, let me just put it that way. Now, as for the movie itself, is it any good? Before I kind of go into that, I want to set an expectation for you guys watching right now. So, if you did not like the first Avatar movie, this one is longer. It definitely does more world building. It definitely builds a bigger picture going into maybe sequels. That's all I will say without spoilers. So, you may not like this movie. If you weren't really too bothered by the first one and you think, okay, well, does this second one be better than that one? Elements I think here, definitely. Elements, no. So, again, another mixed bag. But if you absolutely love the first movie, I think you will have a blast with this one. So what are my thoughts on it? Well, guys, I had a great time with this movie personally. Yeah, the movie isn't perfect. There's definitely a couple of negatives that I've got here. But for most part, I think this was just awesome. Having to get to experience the original Avatar very recently in 4K 3D at the cinema as part of a classic movie trip, I think just really helped add to my experience. So I had a very recent experience of this world of Pandora, getting to really explore that and see what it's all around and just how James Cameron has really built this world of a story that he's had for years in the making. It's just really fascinating that he had the opportunity to do that, and the sequel has been highly anticipated because of the underwater motion capture that he's been trying to do, but there wasn't the technology there. So I think that definitely adds to one of the reasons as to why this movie was so long in the making of a sequel. And also, I think he's already stated that he's filmed at least Avatar 3 and 4 from what I've read. I know the third one was shot back to back with this one, so you can just tell that he's got a longevity vision, and I think ultimately, if he's able to make all these movies that he wants to, and I really hope he does, I think having like a binge kind of marathon over a couple of days, watching all these movies, I think they're really going to be like a masterpiece in cinema, my honest opinion. Now, the first movie is highly regarded, whether you like it or not. Avatar still stands out. Everyone still talks about that movie, whether you love the movie or not, as I said. So coming to this one, I think people are definitely going to be like, was it worth the wait? Is it a good sequel or anything like that? Honestly, I would generally go in with your own personal opinion here and make that own opinion for yourself. I can only tell you guys that I really enjoyed this. I think the performances are great here, especially from, I would say, Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldaña. I think their characters are definitely developed more. As you guys kind of see in the trailers, it looks like now that Jake Sully has a family, and that's all I'll say. Definitely builds on that, gives him more character, makes him more likable, I'd say, compared to the first movie. And especially that connection and chemistry with Zoe Saldaña, I think is great, and I think it just works here. And I think it just helps add to some emotional beats that we get in the story, because you get times where this movie has some comedy moments, it has the emotion, it has a serious story, but it also has a massive open world that it is continued to build upon. And I can only appreciate James Cameron for giving us that storytelling and being like, right, here's a massive picture that we're painting right now. Yes, it may not be complete, but for now, this is what you guys have got, and this is how we're expanding on the first movie, and this is the story that we'll have going forward, and just kind of wait to see what's going to come next, because this underwater motion capture is fantastic. There's times where this looks so realistic, and even some shots that's not in the water and such a close-up of our character, it's like, wow, you can't even tell that it's like a motion capture. You think, wow, is this really a blue person as such, a blue creature? Yeah, it's that good, guys. It really is. Now, some of my negatives in terms of like where I kind of contradict what I've just said is it is visually fantastic movie. There is a couple of CG moments here that I thought looked a little bit ropey, I will say that. But maybe it just needed like a polish over, or maybe it just needed a little bit extra time in the editing room, because I felt like a couple of scenes could have been edited together a little bit better. But that's the only negative that I have with this movie, guys. It really is. I'm not even going to tell you guys who the main enemy is or anything like that, because I didn't know that going into this. I had a guess for sure, but I didn't actually know. So it was kind of a nice surprise, and I was like, oh, okay, so we're doing that, right? Okay, cool. So I'm on board. Yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Now, I think one of the biggest things people are also going to say is this movie too long? For me personally, no. I felt like this movie had deleted scenes that's really going to add to the overall experience of it, and I would love to see those extended scenes, whether it's extended to 3.5 hours or 4-hour cut of the movie. I think the deleted scenes are needed. I personally don't think it's too long, because the thing is, with this movie, it's intentionally longer because it's building a massive world of Pandora, but also it's just building upon a massive story that's still to come. And I feel like if you don't have these longer installments like this one, which purposely does set up this big world even further, you can't really accomplish that in like 2 hours. I personally don't think. Even like say 2.5 hours like the first movie, it really exposed everyone to Pandora. I mean, heck, they've made like theme park attractions of it, so it just clearly goes to show what impact that it's had. And I think expanding upon that only just adds to this story. So for me, the length wasn't an issue. I can maybe see a couple of people thinking, it could be trimmed down a little bit. I get your point, yeah, but for me, no. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Fantastic time at the cinema. One of the best experiences I've had this year, if not the best experience. And with that in mind, guys, I'm going to give Avatar The Way of Water a 4 out of 5 stars. Now, tonight I did see this in a regular show, and I didn't get to see it in the IMAX 3D because of my dad probably wouldn't be able to sit there for 3+ hours with 3D glasses. For me, I'd be okay with that. So I am going to check this out in 3D IMAX. And when I do, I might do like a little mini vlog review and tell you guys if it's worth it over like just seeing it in a standing screening, which I can guarantee it probably will be, but I'll let you guys know. But anyway, thank you for taking your own time to check out this review. Give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video, and also press the red subscribe button down below so I can see you again on a future video. And if you are unaware by now, I do have a Patreon also. It's £2 per month. The link is down below in the description box, where you get access to so many extra features, and there's a couple of tier systems from there starting from £2. You can find out more by clicking the link down below. And I just want to give a special shout out to all my awesome Patreons who help support the channel. But thank you to you guys for watching this video, and until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.